Most people think narcissists just don't have empathy, that we're incapable of feeling what others feel. But that's not actually true. What if empathy isn't missing? What if it's interrupted? And if that's true, then your entire understanding of narcissism, whether you are the narcissist or the loved one, might change completely. Let me show you why. I'm Brad, a self aware narcissist, and I talk openly about what narcissism feels like from the inside. Not to excuse anything, but to understand it well enough to finally change it. Today, we're diving into something that completely reframes narcissism. Empathy is not absent, it just gets stuck in the wiring. And once you understand where it gets stuck, the behavior becomes a lot less personal for everyone involved. There are two major brain regions involved in empathy: the ACC, or anterior cingulate cortex, and the medial PFC, medial prefrontal cortex. And they work together like a two-step system. Step one, the ACC, detects emotions in others. It lights up when someone is sad, scared, stressed, overwhelmed. It's like the brain saying, hey, something emotional is happening over there. Step two is the medial PFC. This is where empathy becomes personal. This region asks, how would I feel in that situation? And once it answers that question, the emotional response, compassion, warmth, resonance, kicks in. In a healthy system, these two structures work like a relay. ACC says, this person is hurting. PFC says, if I were them, I'd feel blank. That leads to empathic feeling and empathic response. Simple, smooth, automatic. But in narcissist brains, something different happens. Studies show that narcissists often have less gray matter in these empathy regions and weaker connectivity between them, which means we do detect emotions, we can read distressed, we do register that someone is upset. That first step, the ACC, is usually intact. But the relay to the medial PFC, the part that personalizes the emotion and turns it into empathy, is weaker. It's like you get the notification, but you can't open the message. You know someone is hurting, you know it's important, but you can't feel your way into it, not automatically, not instinctively. This is why narcissists may respond with analysis, problem solving, defensiveness, shutting down, or nothing at all. Not because we don't care, but because the empathy circuit doesn't complete. This is a neurological interruption, not a lack of humanity. If you've ever been with a narcissist, partner, parent, friend, it can feel like they don't care, like they're indifferent to your pain, cold, unmoved. But now perhaps you can see it's not that we don't register the emotion, it's that the bridge between registering it and feeling it is weak. And when the emotional signal doesn't land inside us, our responses look disconnected and self centered. To the person experiencing it, it feels personal. But inside the narcissist, it's not personal, it's neurological. This doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does humanize the experience. And when both sides understand the wiring, the entire dynamic can change. And here's the part almost nobody knows: narcissists can build empathy because the brain can rewire. Let me show you exactly how I know that. For most of my life, I didn't think I wanted empathy. Empathic people looked overwhelmed and messy, dragged around by their emotions and unstable. From my perspective as a covert narcissist, that looked like a terrible deal. Why would I want to feel more? But something happened that cracked the door open. A former patient of mine had recently lost his wife. I hadn't spoken to him in years, and one day I ran into him in a local grocery store. I had a whole experience around seeing him and not knowing how to respond because I hadn't spoken to him since he lost his wife. So I ducked and ran. When I got to my car, I took a few minutes to consider what had happened inside me and realized it was a panic response because of the threat of an emotional exchange. Later, I was in my mastery circle, which is a place that I gather with like-minded others and work on improving our lives together. And I got the advice that to give him a call the next day and just be real. So I did. We talked, I expressed my condolences, I listened, and afterwards, I was sitting alone thinking about the conversation. And something hit me that I didn't expect. I actually felt something. Not analysis, not duty, not this is what people say in these situations. Something moved in my chest, soft, warm, human. It was quick, just a little spark, but it was real. In that moment, I realized, oh, this is empathy. Not imagined, not forced, not mimicked. Felt, just felt. That was the moment I knew my wiring wasn't dead, it was dormant. If you're waking up to these patterns or trying to understand someone you care about, you don't have to figure it out alone. I built a free online community for people exploring this exact process of awakening, empathy, healing, inner rewiring. The link is in the description. You're welcome there. Here's the good news. Brains change, connections grow, circuits strengthen, and empathy can develop. The principle is simple. Neurons that fire together wire together. When narcissists consciously practice noticing emotions, naming emotions, imagining how would I feel if that were me, staying present through discomfort, and softening instead of analyzing, those pathways actually begin to connect. Slowly at first, then more reliably. It's not magic, and it's certainly not instant, and it's definitely not easy, but it is possible. In the early moments, those tiny, warm flickers, like I felt on that phone call, are proof that wiring can wake up. For narcissists, it means you're not broken. Your empathy isn't missing, it's just interrupted. For partners, parents, and friends, it means the behavior isn't a personal rejection. It's the brain doing what it learned to do. And for both, understanding this lifts the shame, it lifts the blame, and it opens the door to real healing. Because when something stops feeling personal, it stops feeling impossible. If this is resonating with you, whether you're the narcissist or your loving one, tell me in the comments. Have you experienced these small sparks or the frustration of the broken relay? I read every comment, and your stories really matter. And if videos like this help you understand the inner world of narcissism, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future insights. Empathy is just one part of the story. It's one function inside a much bigger system that drives emotional shutdown, defensiveness, numbness, ego reactions, and relationship patterns. There's an entire internal operating system beneath narcissism. And once you see that system clearly, everything finally makes sense. Your reactions, your patterns, your walls, your awakening. I'm breaking it all down in the video, The Narcissist Operating System You Were Never Told About. Don't miss it.